Genie grind and watch him get rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie went and made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucker gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit but feel like one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100,
Hello world, I'm What If Studier, and today we are doing What If Deku Was the Ultimate Necromancer. I don't know quite yet what I'm going to call it, but all I know is that he's going to be sort of like J.O. in this sort of scenario. Sorry if I kill his voice constantly, but almost everybody does. I feel like it's part of the norm and I want to get on this. Alright, so basically, it's not going to be completely like him, alright? I'm going to change up a few things. First of all, his necromancy will be permanent. Instead of being able to, you know, just resurrect anybody, just realistically anybody, they have to have a dead body. Like, he has to find the body instead of finding the soul. So it's slightly different. I'll explain all the rest of it later, but first of all, big spoiler warning. I feel like I should put these into basically every single one of these, but personally, if you haven't watched this, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Go and watch this. Alright, it has already been the first minute mark, so let's cut the jibber jabber and get right into it. So basically, Bakugo and Deku are going to have a little bit of a different relationship in this time. Deku's mother suddenly has a stroke when he turns 5. This stressing him out quite a lot, turns him to having a little bit more of a serious view on the world, while also having a sort of humor inside of him, having to, you know, overcompensate for, you know, his mother like in the stage of dying, you know. So basically, this causes him to seem to not take Bakugo very seriously. This angering Bakugo a lot. However, when Bakugo does beat the shit out of Deku, Deku laughs about it because of his sort of morbid humor by this point. So Bakugo grows a supreme sort of starting to get this hatred for him, okay? So basically, over the years of Bakugo and him fighting, Deku gets a natural resistance in fighting. Something that he never noticed that he had before. He says that maybe this would be a quirk, however, nothing really points to being a quirk. Asking himself, what the hell could this power be? What could have happened? He hears a sort of bling in the middle of the night when he's 14. He tries to check around for it, but he finds nothing. Nothing yet, at least. This drives him mad, insane over the nights. He can't get any sleep. Nevertheless, his mother being in the freaking medical center, you know, he's got enough to worry about. Now that affects him very negatively, causing him to become much more an antisocial kind of person. Now, but now with his secluded time, instead of spending it on sort of video games, he spends it working out, as he wants to become stronger than Quirk, stronger than Bakugo, that bastard. After all, he has tortured him his whole entire life about being quirkless. He'll show him, he says in his mind. No one taunts me like this. As he just works out daily, consistently upgrading his body, trying to get more fit, and he becomes what he looks like in sort of his own anime. Manga, I should say. And, you know, his body gets all that toned, but Bakugo doesn't even care. Because when, I actually have to explain something first, is that villains now are being upgraded by gates. They take villains and make them just infinitely more powerful somehow, whenever they walk into one. So, basically, with that said, Deku of course goes to his normal thing, and that's why he does not run into the sludge villain, because the sludge villain just walks right past him after getting portaled and shit. Complicated stuff. It doesn't matter. Deku goes to his school, and then they start talking about, you know, the whole, I know that you guys aren't, what am I kidding? You guys aren't going to go to any other school. I mean, any other job. Of course you're applying for the hero thing. Everybody raises up and all happy and stuff, and then they start counting off the schools. Listing 1, listing 2, and then UA comes up. And Bakugo and Deku raise up their hands. And then Bakugo goes ballistic. Bakugo was bad in the original, yes, but Bakugo, again, this time, feels like Deku doesn't even respect him in the slightest. There is no, like, conserving their friendship. There's nothing there. They're just an empty, soulless void of hate-filled, desolate land between them. That is all I can define it as. So, knowing this, Bakugo instantly starts up a fight with Deku, saying that, "Are you kidding me? This fucking loser is going to try to get into UA. Don't even fucking make me laugh. You're not even worth fighting." As Bakugo pushes this farther and farther and farther, Deku's sort of envy and hatred for Bakugo grows and grows and grows. Until it reaches a boiling point, which then he starts a fight with Bakugo, which will end up blowing half the school. So guess who comes in and stops the fight from even beginning? Aizawa. Aizawa is actually just cruising around town, and then here's a gigantic explosion, which ends up being, the school. As he rushes in, he wraps up Bakugo and throws him to the side, and then realizes that Bakugo had a gigantic punch in his stomach that was really destroying him. But he doesn't learn this until later, as then he looks up to see Deku, who had like some scars on his face that had been from the explosion that had taken up like half of his face. Everything calms down from there, and then it goes up to the sort of hero exam. No interaction with Aizawa. All Might. But Deku does ask Aizawa, "Can I be a hero with no quirk?" And Aizawa, however, has a different answer. It's conditional. As he knows the limit of his power. His power is not that great. But with training, he made it what it is now. By training his physical body, he was able to get past the limitations of his own quirk. But that's a toughie. And he doesn't even, he can't answer him. He can't answer Deku. Him not answering him is actually kind of worse than him saying no, because now this shadow of doubt starts to flood Deku's brain, already troubled enough. Deku, internalizes this a little bit. And starts training like freaking hell. Getting toned. And goes out to the UA sports exam. So he basically aces the test. You already know he's studying. He doesn't have any friends. It's fine. It's whatever. He's better without friends anyways, he says. To sort of Uraraka, she didn't even ask him of anything like this. Very confused what he means and very creeped out by his sort of aura that comes around him, like he's so weak. What the hell? Like, he's only been training normally. He's still a human. Like, what's your quirk? He's like, I don't have one. She's like, holy shit, you're gonna die. He's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. They have healers, right? She's like, I guess so. So they go in, of course, and then Bakugo's also in their group this time, I may mention. They go through all the test stuff, and then 3, 2, 1, go. There are no countdowns in a real battle. President Mike, quotation marks, best line ever. Everybody gets off to the start, and then Deku is not lagging behind this time. He is already dashing out there trying to do his best. However, he is instantly put down a lot from the things there. The robots are insanely powerful. Like, they are just the same robots as before, but he had a quirk before. He's not going to do well here. He is put down many times, failing a lot of times, but he gets a lot of technical kills by taking off the armor and then grabbing inside and pulling out the batteries. However, that can only get you so many points. He does so until the big, gigantic robot comes around. This time, he cannot save her. Okay? She's crushed. At least he thinks she is. We know that she has a gravity quirk. He doesn't know that in this point, because he wasn't nervous. He thinks that she's crushed. He starts almost crying, and he's he's so mad at this thing for killing her that before he can do anything, however, Ida jumps off of a building and smacks the shit out of it. However, it grabs Ida and then wants to spike him to the floor. Until, this thing is super powerful. Nobody can stand up to it until a gigantic explosion is heard from long range. And then all they see is a black dot that shoots straight through the freaking robot. And all he hears is Delaware smash. All Might? As he looks up to see All Might just standing there, menacingly, he stares down at all the rest of the people. As he looks at Ida in his right hand, as he just lets Ida drop to the ground, letting Ida into a free fall, which Deku jumps as fast as he can, trying to grab Ida. However, Uraraka sticks out her hand from the rubble and catches him for Deku. She says that was very cordial, very risky of him. Just leave it to the people with the quirks, which angers him quite a lot. But he has no time as he looks back up to All Might, who then sort of punches one time and destroys all the buildings around him. And this opens up a gigantic earthquake in the ground, killing some of the students. Now all the people there are like, what the fuck? We thought that this was like a thing. He was going to be the villain. What the hell? Like, we need to be in there now. Like, people are rushing to try to get to there, but, none of the real heroes were there except, well, Aizawa. And this is where the sludge villain actually takes an effect. The sludge villain is taking control of his body. So when Deku says, "What are you doing, All Might? You're the hero, what are you doing?" All Might twists his face around without moving his body, cracking his neck and scrambling the insides. He looks around and stares down at Deku, which creeps the fuck out of everybody. He wears a creepy smile on his face as the sludge villain introduces himself, saying that, he found this fine body resting on the floor, more on pain. He noticed that there was an injury that he could see through, and, he might as well enjoy this time. All of you tried to destroy me. All of you told me I was a villain. You shall take penance now. As he starts to get sort of a god presence and stuff. Deku, knowing that the real All Might is still down there somewhere, he has to think of something as All Might starts to go on a killing spree, killing most of the some of the kids there. In only 2 seconds, he already has killed like 5. This horrible massacre is going on as, he's confused, dazed, and he knows that All Might is still down there. He has to just call out his name. And Bakugo, while Bakugo is punched in the stomach and sent straight towards next to Deku, Deku calls out All Might's name and stares him in the eye. As All Might had saved him once from a serious crisis that he had gone out to try to save himself. However, he was not powerful enough. All Might had saved him and the survivors. He recognizes Deku and starts to come back to reality. However, he's controlling his face and he says, "Is that you, kid? Get out of here!" As his arm reels back and then punches again, an air burst, sending Deku back into a building, nearly breaking his spine. And almost everybody's like, "That kid, he's nothing compared to All Might. We need some actual people. What's happening to the people on the ground? All the people with quirks, please. Why did we send in a guy with no quirk? He's useless there. He's goddamn useless." As he hears this, he sort of diminishes to the darkness as he looks down, seeing that he's leaking out quite a lot of blood. He can barely even see, however he can hear everything. He is nothing. he might as well just die here. And that's exactly what Sludge Villain says as he jumps straight at him, sending an air burst straight at him. However, a pro hero stops it in its tracks. The air burst disperses all around him, making him cough up blood, however, as he's not that good at this. He's only human. It's Aizawa. He looks back up at All Might, saying for him to come back to reality as he jumps and starts to punch All Might, taking off his quirk by staring at him and forcing the Sludge Villain to start to lose grip. As he relentlessly barrages All Might with furies and punches, it's not working, however. Even though he's beating him, he's not going to get rid of the Sludge Villain. The Sludge Villain has too much power over All Might. Clearly, he's been in All Might for a few days now. He has such a good control over him. So the Sludge Villain isn't getting out anytime soon. Deku realizes that they need to just appeal to All Might. All Might's the only one that can defeat the Sludge Villain. You're just killing All Might. You're not killing the Sludge Villain. He'll just latch onto you next. He brings himself up as he holds down his whole organs in. He's literally like leaking everywhere. He can barely even move. As he screams at the top of his lungs, All Might. Or what I say, All Might! Please! We are the people. You said you'd save everybody, didn't you? As suddenly this gets to All Might, stopping All Might in his tracks. Stopping him just for a second for Aizawa to punch the Sludge Villain off of his shoulder, destroying the Sludge Villain and releasing All Might from his control. As Deku falls back down to his seat, the recovery lady comes out to meet him as he's already fading away and is dying. It's such a shame for somebody with no quirk. Why did we ever let a low-tier scum like him get into this place? We should have never let him in. As this sort of reflects throughout his brain as he's hospitalized quickly. However, he's already dead. Slowly and slowly he just dies, corroding, his body unable to support him anymore, even though he's trained his whole entire life. Until a light. Boop, boop. A noise. A screen appears in front of him. You have a second chance. You have completed. Blah, blah, blah. He can't read anymore. All he can see is yes or no. And accept. He doesn't know anymore. He's so worthless, he might just as well just die. There's nothing he's good at. He couldn't even save the people that he loved. What is he anymore? Just a useless being. He's so close to clicking no, but something in his humanity just comes out roaring. You're human. You're here. There is always a chance to change. And so he screams, no! I will take back my life. A restart. Yes! As he clicks yes. Suddenly he wakes up in the hospital. Classic Jeijun stuff. As his body, he looks down to see his body completely fine. All of his wounds completely healed as he looks up to see a screen. A screen that he can go straight through and nobody else can see. Is this my quirk? As suddenly two doctors come in asking him plenty of questions that he cannot even answer. He swiftly tries to get out of there. However, he's taken back after a few hours of him walking around, feeling up his new body of, what he had never seen before. A quirk, finally. However, this one was weird. It was different. It was a screen? It was a leveling up system? What is this? As he suddenly sees a question mark. He presses it and it says that it explains almost everything about it. As everybody knows, this is his leveling up system. Everybody knows this. So using the leveling up system, he sees that there are daily quests, a daily reward. Oh, now this This is going to be interesting. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I'll be sure to make a part 2 in the next few days, if it gets enough views. And just, yeah. See you guys in sometime, somewhere. Goodbye.
Genie grind, I wish I'm getting rich, huh? Remember when I said I hit a lick, huh? I don't really wanna fuck the bitch, what? Willie when I made another hit, okay, like Prada on my motherfucking kid, huh? Louis on my motherfucking hip, huh? Curry how I dunk, no switch, hey, fucker gonna fuck that bitch, hey, if you ain't gon' fuck with me, you a dumb fuck, put up a hit up for that one punch, look at my bank and I'm getting dumb rich, and I'm gonna count it up till 100,